to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
The whole notion that, voting in America is safe and easy and reliable is relative to nations where it isn't. But just in recent times, in New York City, how many times have we reported on power outages right here in New York? Machines not working, polling places being closed, but the neighborhood not knowing that it was closed, so people showing up and having to do a whole wild goose chase to find out where they're supposed to vote.
Power cords missing.
Classic.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Well, America has a history of this, specifically doing it in black neighborhoods. It's part of the history. Making it hard for black people to vote. And it's not, I just read a thread, this guy that I follow, he's a writer for this magazine, The Root. And he makes a great point. His name is Michael Harriot. He's funny and he's a good writer. He makes a great point. It's easy and lazy for us to say it's just racism.
Nothing to worry about.
It is the definition of white supremacy. Because the only way for the entities of whiteness to stay in power is to make it difficult for black folks to vote. Because black people vote by percentage much more than any group in the United States. And in some states, like Alabama, South Carolina, and Georgia, where because of slave populations, black people outnumbered white people at a certain time. That's why they went and started killing black people who wanted to vote. Murder. They called them riots after Reconstruction, but it was about voting. And it was about scaring black people to death. And you know what black people did anyway? They showed up to vote even when their lives were on the line. That's what our ancestors did. Do you know in the state of Alabama, I just learned this. I was today years old, just learned this. Up into the 1960s, black people had to memorize the entire Constitution to vote. Not the preamble. Not the preamble. The entire Constitution to vote.
That's just so ridiculous. It's not even, who could do that?
That's what started, because, and then if you messed up a single word, you couldn't vote. You was out. That's when the voting numbers started to go down for black folks. Because they was like, yo, I forgot to say the. Well, you can't vote.
Yo,
so I just put that out there for everyone that likes to the revisionist history or romanticize America and what America is. They have made it extremely hard for black people. They have killed us at every turn. And we still show up and line up for hours right now because black people are the most patriotic people in this land. Period. And that's based on historical fact. And at every turn, whether it's accessing home ownership to build wealth, getting schools in order, being accepted to schools, or whatever it is, the system has been set up to make sure that we can't participate because the founders of this nation were white supremacists. Not just racists. They believed that black people were inferior. Intellectually inferior. And so to disenfranchise us and keep us under them, they created a constitution that is a manual for white supremacy. And we still shine, and we still show up, and we still fighting for it in this nation. So for everybody out there that thinks this is a game, I hit you with this button.
Congratulations.
It is
you played
life.
yourself.
Voting is life and death for black folks. And and this ain't even a presidential conversation. Whether you want to do it local, whether you want to do it wherever you want to do it, you got to do it.
Well, yesterday was a good indicator for how this early voting thing is going. And I do not think, and I'm not someone who's been sure about what's going to happen in this election. I'm very unclear, but I'll tell you one thing. Those lines I saw for early voting yesterday is not a good indicator for the incumbent. People are out here,
I just have
Jack.
mixed feelings, Rosenberg, because I know what you mean, right? When people like, look at how great all these people came out to vote. It shouldn't even be like that, bro.
No. It definitely shouldn't be that.
That voter suppression is so real, and we're watching it right in front of our eyes.
Because they don't want to lose their white supremacist nation.
But that wasn't the only story yesterday, Laura. I mean, that was one of the stories, was that some places had really whack, ridiculous lines, and it was voter suppression. But there were other places where there were just mad crowds, and it was absolutely packed, and people waited 40 minutes, and they voted. Like a lot of places like that, where it was just tons of people out voting yesterday. So while everything Ebro said is true, and there's a lot of depressing, sad things about what this country is in general, there were some good indications yesterday about people coming out to vote.
Now, people believe, man. People believe,
so.
and people are willing to fight, and that's what it's going to take. Laura, what's on your list today?
Well, we're just going to go a little lighter, okay? A little lighter, just to change things up a bit. Our friend, someone we love, Cardi B.
Oh, you mean darker than the skin, but lighter than the nipple, the areola.
Oh, no. Cardi B accidentally leaked her nude pictures on Instagram yesterday, and she was trending, and it was like, when I saw it, I was like, why is she trend? Oh.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It was topless. It was topless.
It was topless, and she explained herself. She basically said that she felt like she had bumped her lip and it was swollen, so she was sending a pic to Offset to show him. But she accidentally posted. And you know when you guys post something on stories and you see it loading? She said she started freaking out. She's like, no, try to make it stop. So she turns off her phone hoping it wouldn't go through. Calls Offset. Offset said, oh, it's up.
Ooh, was it?
So by the time she tried to turn on her phone, take it down, the whole world had seen her topless photo.
Yo, but the button goes to who sends that as a photo of someone's lip.
Well,
that's Cardi. It still goes
Give
to
it
Cardi.
her.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Like, you could have easily just made it your lip. You was trying to throw the boobs in there to get Offset to come over where you was at because you wanted some action.
Couldn't even see her lips.
Because, like, no, you can. If you see the photo, I know you're too busy looking at something else.
If she wanted him to see how big her lips was, she did not take the right picture.
She wanted to see how big them pancake silver dollars was. That's what she wanted.
She definitely wanted to include some chimichangas in there, okay?
I'll take rhymes with lips for 300.
Yeah, exactly.
When you look at the picture, it's not the most flattering picture. And her lip does look swollen in the photo. But, oh, man. Because people were like, oh, Cardi's trying to sue this person. But no, she was like, no, none of this is true. I played myself. It was my fault. I take the blame. So for that.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Oh, Cardi.
Rosenberg, what you got today?
Mine would go to, I don't know, it's kind of to everybody. I mean, number one, to all the people I saw online getting overly excited because during the Amy Coney Barrett confirmation hearing in Washington, like Kamala Harris said something really great, or Feinstein said something great, or Klobuchar said something great, and people would post the video like, look at this. And all I would think was, so?
It ain't going to stop this nomination from getting through.
I am not one of those people who's just like everything in politics. It's a sham. It's all politics. Nothing matters. I obviously don't believe that. I think that's lazy and not true. But this specifically here, this is a dog and pony show. There is nothing to really talk about here. She is going to go in with her right-wing ideals. The Democrats are going to be like, look at her. She's a right-winger. She feels this. She feels that. She's going to go, what? I don't bring any biases in. I'm just a judge. Everything I say is objective. And then the Republicans are going to go, this is ridiculous. And then the Democrats go, this is ridiculous. And then ultimately the Republicans have the votes. It doesn't matter. It's a complete waste of time.
What isn't a waste of time is you voting for those senators. If you listen to us in Maine, If you're listening to us in South Carolina, where you have a chance to get Lindsey Graham up out of there, if you're listening in Kentucky, and you have a chance to get Mitch McConnell up out of there, and you're not on it,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Because that's the only way for this to not be a waste of time next time.